Hello, my name's Ali, and I would like to talk today about schizoaffective disorder and a little bit about whether there's the psychiatric side of the illness, which say that it's just an illness, but then a lot of people that I've spoken to actually see it as a spiritual awakening, which, when you think about it, when you're slapped on with a diagnosis of schizoaffective disorder, not many people know about it, but it's quite a scary thing. You have an illness that makes you see and hear things that aren't there, and people can be a bit terrified of it. Um, Not so much with bipolar. Bipolar seems to be more accepted, but with schizoaffective, more so. So I'd just like to explain how my awakening happened to schizoaffective disorder, if you believe that term. Um, so I remember I had a dream, and it was you are a you are a soul, and it was a weird dream because it wasn't like a proper dream where there's loads of things going on. It was like a sign, and the sign said you are a soul, and then I woke up, and that was a bit weird. And then I had another dream the next night of a temple in the sky, and then I googled it. Google. Um, Spiritual catalyst for us all is Google. And Google said that a temple in the sky is spiritual awakening, and it was supposed to be like good things to come, fortune and everything. I was like, wicked, brilliant. Who doesn't want good fortune? So then I had like a download. This is the only way to describe it. It felt like a download, and it said, "You, hello, I am God." And I was like, I didn't even believe in God. I am God. He said that didn't matter, and um, you're a soul, and I love you. Now this was so profound that I started crying. I was thinking, oh my God, I didn't even believe in God. I kind of wanted to, but I never quite believed in him. And he's saying, you're a soul and I love you. And I'm thinking, how can he love me? Like all the all the a lot of us, I think, don't think much of ourselves, and we have an internal dialogue of, not, you certainly wouldn't feel worthy of God's love if you really sat down and thought about it. Most of us would say that, unless you're a narcissist or something. um so that was it. And then I started looking at the world, and I started looking at the trees and the flowers, and everything looked phenomenally beautiful. Now this is what I think they talk about when they talk about enlightenment, being Eckhart Tolle, or who's the other ones, Dr. Wayne Dwyer, or the Dalai Lama. They talk about enlightenment. So I think when they talk about enlightenment, they talk about seeing the world and smelling the flowers, looking at the trees. Now, if you're in this consciousness, you're going, yeah, it's a tree, it's a flower, it's nice and everything, but it's not really, super duper. But when I was in this phase, everything was super duper. So wasn't long after that actually I started seeing demons, and so it was like a battle. That I got delusional then, and it was a battle between angels and demons, where I was supposed to be ascending to this enlightenment phase where the world would just look beautiful, and you would just attract beautiful things. The law of attraction, you would just attract beautiful things to you and be living the life of just happiness, that which we all crave. And anyway, where was I? So enlightenment. So then I had angels and demons and stuff like that, and I ended up running down the street screaming, angels and demons, demons, they're all after us and stuff like that. So it wasn't long before I got picked up in an ambulance and taken to hospital, got the label of schizoaffective disorder. So what am I trying to say? How long have I got? 5 minutes, okay. I think it's 10 minutes the upload thing. So for me now, I've had schizoaffective for 4 years now, and it's suffering every day, pretty much every day. It's not a nice disorder to have, and I've never heard voices, which I'm blessed about, because a lot of people with schizoaffective do, but I would get things like what would be called thought insertion, but I don't now because I'm on medication. The medication does help, and it masks it. It doesn't get rid of the disorder, unfortunately. It masks it. But it makes you put on loads of weight, which that again affects your self-esteem. So you have the label, which affects your health. Your health is your self-esteem. You have the label of I'm a crazy person, which affects your self-esteem. You have the fact that you put on loads of weight, and the fact that you then get signed off work sick, which makes you put on loads of weight because you're not doing any exercise, and then you lose your confidence, and it's just a self-fulfilling prophecy, really. And it's really difficult to get out of that hole. You just seem like you're trapped in a hole and you've got no motivation to do anything. And yeah, it's a horrible way to be. So I could still be crazy, probably am, but part of me agrees with the schizoaffective label, and saying yes, it's an illness and it's a dopamine deficiency, and yes, the medication does work. I'm currently taking lithium and aripiprazole. Now, lithium blunts my affect, which means blunts my mood, so I can find it extremely difficult to cry or laugh at anything, or I can just look blank at something, so it looks like I'm quite unempathic when I'm actually very empathic. But and weight gain gives you that. But it doesn't stops the upswings and downswings of mood, so that's positive. And then the aripiprazole can cause great anxiety, but they give me another medication for that. But that was the only one that stopped the hallucinations, and the hallucinations would be like demons would be trying to touch me as I was trying to go to sleep. All freaky deaky stuff, no, who the hell wants that? I couldn't even watch a horror film before, so you can imagine what that's like for me. So just the part is like, yeah, it's an illness and blah blah blah, and then there's the other side of me, that's the spiritual side, which they will say, psychiatrists will say delusional, but there's loads of people that I believe Eckhart Tolle and Wayne Dwyer and the Dalai Lama, and or even religious people. I'm not religious, but religious people who believe in the presence of angels and demons. So my thought is that it could be that because I became awakened, that suddenly the demons sounds really scary. You call them negative thought forms, or negative entities get attached to your chakra points and cause the thought insertion. And I'll leave you with this, right? I think Eckhart Tolle does this, right? So if you just sit and quiet your mind and just become aware of the thoughts that are coming into your head, you will become aware. So just do this, and you'll become aware of all the thoughts that come into your head. So my question is, if I'm the observer of the thoughts, I'm sitting there observing them, who the hell is thinking them? Because if it was up to me and I had conscious choice over what thoughts to think, then I wouldn't be thinking negative stuff about myself. I wouldn't be thinking anything scary or, negative at all. So what they say to combat this is to just have absence of thought, which you do training in with meditation and stuff like that. But my question is, I would put to you, who's the thinker? Is it me? Is it just a like a record on a loop, or is it could it be that actually we're not seeing all the dimensions of the world, and possibly that there are negative thought forms that can affect our mind?